Hi everyone, this is Sam and this is the month of December. We're making coasters. So you are welcome to make this and personalize it any way you want to. In this video tutorial, we're going to explore the ability to use any objects as wholes or to make them as wholes and then group them together into a flat surface to 3D print a coaster. This is going to help you learn how to make more of a grading effect when it comes to different 3D objects. That is what the objective is for this month. So this is a great beginning tutorial for those who have never tried TinkerCAD before, for those who are new. And if you wanted to try or explore different tutorials, in the past I've done ornaments for this time of the month, you're welcome to do that. But I thought this is a great way to make something more personalized because I don't think I've done that a lot. So you can make a personalized coaster. You don't have to have it theme of the holidays. I just love the holidays. I thought what better way of getting a fun gift to give someone is to make them like this. So I thought it'd be a great gift to give someone. But you're welcome to make your coasters however you want to make them, just as long as they are flat and you could use them as coasters. Once you're done, please email the studio and we will print them out as fast as we can. You're welcome to choose up to 4 different colors and you're also welcome to have up to 4 coasters. So while I only made 2 here as an example, and if you make 2, that's fine too, but you can always make copies of both. So if I were to actually give this to someone, I probably would give an extra copy of each, maybe a different color. So enjoy tinkering, have fun. If you have any questions or need help with anything, please contact the studio and we can help you out. You're welcome to make one-on-one appointments to learn how to make the coasters in the studio. We have the resources here to help you out when need. So please enjoy. So have fun, enjoy tinkering, and have fun making coasters. Thank you. This is where you would start off with designs. This is my main page for TinkerCAD, so I'm going to click on designs, but we're going to hit create 3D design and let's see what pops up. So this is the main page. You see the work plane with all the toolbars of the basic shapes. Now I'm going to click here, and the first thing I like to do is just change the name of my file. So I'm going to change this to my initials and coasters. So overall, this is going to be a very good beginner project. I wanted to keep something that, I don't want to say easy, but like a good starting point. And then you can also personalize as much as you want. But I want you to all keep in mind when it comes to a coaster, you want to make sure it's a flat object because we want to use it to put our drinks on. So that is the whole concept of the coaster. So here on the main screen, there are some good shapes you can use. You have the cylinder, the polygon, and then if you actually look up here, you can actually increase or decrease the size of the polygon. I'm going to get a little closer, you can see. So it's 12 sides, and then we can take it down to 6. So see a hexagon there. A heart's not a bad shape either. So I say these 3 shapes are probably the best to use from the main screen. So unlike things like the keychain where we can put stuff on and kind of vary the levels, we're going to make sure this has a flat top. So I will show you kind of the options you can do with that. So the way I like to start is increase the sides. And the reason why I do that is because I love to have more of a rounded edge. If I were to keep the sides decreased, it loses the definition of the edge. In fact, this actually looks more like the polygon shape with 12 sides. So I want to make sure I'm going to keep this as smooth as possible. Now, in terms of height, we don't need to have anything tall. Make a flat disc. So let's do the height as, let's do 3. And then for the sides, you want to change these to 94. So we're going to make a coaster size coaster. So you can see this is pretty big. So the idea is that I want to do is make little sayings on each of these coasters. Now, before I've done various things where I don't know if I've explored it much, but like making designs looks like it's engraved into the item. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some text on here. And because it is the holiday season, I'm thinking of just putting in like a holiday theme coasters together. And you are welcome to do anything else you wish. I'm just going to go along with home for the holidays as an option. Now, I'm noticing that this might be a lot of wording to go on one little coaster. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a couple of these to kind of split up and like to put maybe 3 lines of text, because unfortunately the one downfall of the text is you can't really do much in terms of like making paragraphs and that sort of thing. So this is really the best I can do in order to make it smaller, which is not exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to duplicate each one of these. I'm going to do 3 duplicates. I think they all mishmash together. So I had to click off and then click on again to make them all separate. So I'm just going to delete the part I don't want for each one. So okay. All right. So I have roughly this definitely fits a little bit nicer, but I do want to make sure it all fits together. I will select all 3 of them just to shorten them up at the same time. And you can make it as kind of place the words wherever you want to. Try not to move the coaster itself. I'll make this a little smaller. So I'm holding the way I'm doing this is I'm holding my shift key to lock in the movement. If I don't hold my shift key, it kind of can stretch and go anywhere like that. So the reason why I'm holding my shift key is making sure that the stretching doesn't happen. Okay, so I think this is pretty good size. I'm trying to get more on the top view to see what I can do. Probably move some of these words a little closer down. Okay, so I'm going to group these all. I'm going to make them into holes. And one thing I do want to make sure is I think the text is sitting on top of the coaster. So I want to just see, I'm moving it down 2 points. And also when I do that, I also want to make sure it doesn't come in through the bottom. So it looks like everything is on top, kind of like engraved a little bit in the coaster. And you'll see what I mean. I'm going to just use my keyboard keys just to move it over 1. I'm kind of eyeballing to see if it's centered. And now I'm going to group this all together. And there we go. So what this does is, so this looks like it got engraved into the coaster. So that is my idea of how I want to go forward with these coasters. Behind the engraving idea is to make it look like they were designed to be that way. And when it comes to adding different shapes, let's say you want to add a star. Once again, I'm holding my shift key and I'm resizing it. I'm going to make it a hole. And I do want to make sure I push that. And you can kind of see it too. Right now the star is hovering over, and the reason why I could tell is because I see the stripes going across it. I'll move it down 1. I still see those stripes. Now it looks like it's kind of on top of the coaster. I see some other, it looks like the shadow is hitting the inside. And now I see that the star is officially, you can actually see the hole it's making in the solid. So that's what I want to do with this. Group that. As long as it's red, you could tell it's kind of saving. Okay, and now I'm going to look for different other shapes that we have going on here. I know there are some. Let me search them first just to see. Do holiday. So there is a Christmas tree. I'm going to see what this Christmas tree would look like sideways, because we can't have the Christmas tree like this. We can try to select this, turn it sideways, and see if it does maybe form an engravement of a tree. I'm just going to flatten it like that. And I'm going to make this smaller. I'm zooming in. I hit my F key to zoom in. Now I'm going to try to move this down. I'm trying to get to this little carrot It's really hard to, here, let me get a little closer. So this time I'm trying to move down into the coaster. And I think it is good. I'm going to group it, see what happens. Okay. Didn't turn out completely in there. That's part of the problem with the 3D items. We want to make sure that this might be a little bit harder because of the way it's shaped. Maybe I should just keep it thicker and hoping that it does go through the other side, which is a shame. So you see the tree probably isn't the best idea for this. I was trying to see if I can get it like sideways, but it seems like the bigger piece doesn't really show through. So I'm going to not do this idea. And so with the tree being how it's shaped, I'm going to go for the snowflake. I have it sitting on top, and now I'm going to make it smaller. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Okay, making a hole. I did make sure that it is in the coaster. Group it. Okay, so the snowflake worked out really well. All of these will print out just fine. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make more duplicates of that snowflake because I like that a little bit more than the star. So let me do that. I'm going to actually, maybe I'll put the star on top. I'll move the star to go at the very top. And then I will maybe kind of make this look like it's a tree itself. So I'm one of those people that like to go back and change some things. So bear with me. I have a new idea to make this look like a tree, and you are welcome to try it out yourself. So I ungrouped everything. I'm going to make the home smaller, and maybe make the a little bit bigger. You just want to make sure that this all does it connect, has its own things. If it connects to letters, I will show you what happens when two of the holes connect or overlap and they'll create basically one big hole. So let me just put the star down and you can see how this looks. I'm going to group them all together. Might take a second. Okay, so you see the star now looks like it covered up home. So this is what happens when you connect two holes over the coaster. It will actually kind of overlap and hide what you're trying to do. So we're not going to do that. Be careful of doing that with your design. Okay, so I think this is cute. I'm going to group it all. I didn't really adjust the size of the snowflakes, but you're welcome to do that. Okay, so I have one coaster done. So much like the other one, we're going to change the sizing to 94 by 94. And let me see, I'm going to do an octagon. There's no reason why. I just figured it's a little bit more rounded. Oh, this is 3, so I'm going to change the height to 3. So it's 94 by 94 by 3. So now that I got my polygon all set up, okay, so I'm bringing out this one, and we're just going to, this one you can add like center, left, right. And interesting enough, it looks like it should be able to multi-line it. But if it can't, we have this sample over there that we can do. So I saw candy canes as one of the options, so I think I want to do... So an idea for the candy canes, I want to do a saying that I saw was sweet and twisted. Because that is what a candy cane is. So let me see if I can... No, I can't. So I'm trying to see if I can get this to separate, but that is okay. I'm just doing the same thing we did last time and just duplicating all these and then going to delete. And you know what? I just thought of something. I will add an and sign. instead of saying and. So let's see if I can wonder if there's anything in here, but probably not. So let me duplicate the twisted again, and I'm just going to put that and symbol. All right, so I'm just going to make sure all these are holes. Clicking up on there again and making sure I can push all these in there. It looks like I got them all engraving in there. Now I'm just going to group all of these and see how it turns out. Perfect. Sweet and twisted. So let me go back and look for that candy cane. Just going to type in candy, see what pops up. Oh, I got a few options here. Let me see if this one might actually come out with the lines. So that would be pretty cool. So let me just see if I can do that with the lines. Make sure I have it where I want it. I'm going to change this color just so I can see a little better. Because sometimes the dark colors just don't show up so well. So here's where you can rotate something. You just want to make sure that it is rotating the right direction. And when you rotate the right direction, make sure that it is still where you want it to be on your coaster. And group this. Oh, that'd be so fun. I hope. What I don't know is if, I don't know what this is, but I'm hoping that you can see the ridges with all of that. If not, that's not a big deal. It still looks like a candy cane. And I think you understand where I'm going with this. So I'm going to add another one. I'm going to ungroup this first. For me, it's just easier to duplicate something instead of just adding it, moving it, and starting over in a sense with your object. So I'm just going to put this over here. I'm going to duplicate this again. I think that looks good. Okay. So I'm just going to group everything. And I got that one done. Let's check them out. There we go. So these are just going to be two of my options. I'm going to end it right here because overall, I think you get the gist of everything. If you wanted to add a heart coaster, it would be 94 by 94 again. So this would be roughly the size of the heart coaster. So the thing about the heart coaster is it does kind of curve at bits where you will lose some of the sides. So if you wanted to do a heart, I'd say probably do something more like 96 by 96. I think that will kind of fit more with the rest of them. So yeah, that's a little bit better. So that's an option for that. And then once again, you would change that to 3. Overall, have fun with your coasters. Make some cute sayings. It doesn't have to be holiday related, but you can find some nice sayings online or love to use, basically. Once you're done with what you make in your coasters, you're welcome to print out 4 different colors if you really want to have each one be its own color. That doesn't mean it'll be 4 different layers. So like how this one is orange, this one's purple, we can do something like that. We have a whole bunch of colors. We have a variety. So whatever you're interested in, and even if we don't have that exact color, we can definitely find something close to what you're looking for. So I hope you have fun with this. Enjoy tinkering, and email at studio@newlanxlibrary.org and we will start the printing process. Thank you. Have fun.